Welcome to the New Orleans Jazz Pop Harp Weekend virtual classes. My name is Patrice Fisher. This is the Pedal Harp class for St. James Infirmary Blues. The history of this tune is it's originally an Old English folk song, but it was adapted by many New Orleans musicians, including Louis Armstrong, because of its ability to support the improvisations in the blues idiom. It's in the key of D minor, and don't worry, we're going to learn it by ear, but don't worry because you can download the music at our website, www.neworleansjazzharp.com. So I'm going to first play through the tune for you so you can hear how it sounds. But I will also play through the tune several times at the end of the class so you can practice the melody and practice improvising. So here's St. James Infirmary. This is my arrangement of it. I have made an ascending bass line instead of the original bass line so that you don't have to change any pedals if you don't want to. But we will also learn the way, the original way with the descending chromatic bass line. So first let's learn the right hand melody. And this tune is in the key of D minor. That is all natural with a B flat. And you want to have your foot on the C pedal. So the melody spells a D chord, D, F, A, with 3 on D, 2 on F, 1 on A, D, F, A. And then it has the same beginning twice with 2 different endings. So here's the beginning, D, F, A, G, and then you're going to step and skip down, playing a D chord but adding a G, A, G, F, D. Now that's the beginning. You're going to hear that twice with different endings. So here's the beginning again, D, F, A, G, F, D. Now the first ending is A, D, B flat, A. So here's the first ending again, A, D, B flat, A. All right, going back to the beginning, here's the beginning, D, F, A, G, F, D. Here's the first ending, A, D, B flat, A. Now the second half, you play just like the beginning, D, F, A, G, F, D. But the second ending, it couldn't be easier. It's just D and F, D, F, D, F, D, F, D. So the second half just starts just like the first half, D, F, A, G, F, D. Then second ending, D, F, D. Now the bass line that I have written in my arrangement is a simple bass line. It's just half notes. You're going to play slow, long notes, D, E, F, and go back to E. So you're just stepping up and down from D to F. Again, it's D, E, F, E, and that goes with the beginning. The D and the F in the melody are pickups, so you don't play the first chord the first bass note until you get to your thumb on A. So D, F alone, and then the bass line starts with A, E with G, F with F, and then E alone. All right, so that's again D, E, F, E alone. Now the first ending starts D and E again, long D, long E, and then quarter notes descending from A to E, A, G, F, E. So here's how it sounds: long D, long E, short A, G, F, E. So here's how it goes with the melody: D with A, E with D, A with A. So here's the first ending again. Here's the beginning with the first ending. When you get to the last bass note of the first ending, you play the pickup D, F. Now the second half of the song is D, E, F, but instead of going back to E, you continue up to G. D, E, F, and G alone. Then your second ending is B flat, A, and ending on D. So the melody is D, F, D, F, D, F, D. The B flat goes with the F. The A goes with the F. The D goes with the last D. Now, if you're going to repeat the song, you play an A chord. In jazz, we call this a turnaround. You only do it if you're going to repeat. It's turning yourself around to go back to the beginning. So here's the melody from the beginning. A, G, F, D. A, D, B, and then walk down. D, G alone. A. Now we're going to explore several things you can do, several ideas to improvise on. The first one is a pentatonic scale. Pentatonic means 5 notes, and the 5 notes that we are going to use in the D minor scale are D, F, G, A, C, D. Now we create that pentatonic scale by leaving out the 2nd degree and the 6th degree. That's the E and the B. We're going to leave out the E and the B and just play D, F, G, A, C, D. Now you can play all the way through and just play up and down the pentatonic scale, and it will work with every chord. All right, so I'm going to play the simple bass line and just play a pentatonic scale. All I did was play the notes of the pentatonic scale. Now we're going to add a little bit of blues to that pentatonic scale. In jazz, they usually say that you're flatting the 5, but on the harp, it makes more sense to sharp the 4th degree of the scale. So we're playing in the key of D minor. D is 1, E is 2, F is 3, G is 4. So in order to sharp the 4, you make a G sharp. Now, it works through most of the tune, but when you get to the walk down, you're going to need a G natural. And when you walk up in the second half, D, E, F, G, also at that point, you need a G natural. So just keep your foot on the G sharp pedal. I'm going to play the same pentatonic scale without a B or E, but instead of G, I'm going to use G sharp. G natural for the walk down. G natural for the G chord. So we have our first 2 ideas, the pentatonic scale, D, F, G, A, C, D. The pentatonic blues scale, D, F, G sharp, A, C, D. Now, in the original tune, there is a descending chromatic bass line in the second half, which we kind of edited so that we didn't have to change the pedals, the sharps and flats, but we can use that to inform our improvisation. So in reality, the second half chords are D, C sharp, C natural, B, B flat, A, D. Now, you can accomplish that chromatic descending bass line just with your C pedal. So first is D, then instead of playing E, play C sharp. Then instead of playing F, play C natural. Then instead of playing G, play C flat, which is the same note as B, natural. And then you can just continue down to B flat, A, and end on D. And you have to change your C pedal back to either C sharp or C natural. C sharp is good for the turnaround chord. So here's an improvisation on just the second half with that chromatic descending bass line. So all I did was play the notes that are going to change with the pedal to give it a more chromatic flair than playing just that simple pentatonic scale. So I'm going to play the whole song improvising with the descending chromatic bass line in the second half. Okay, so those are three things that we can do to improvise on St. James Infirmary. The pentatonic scale, D, F, G, A, C, D. The pentatonic blues scale, D, F, G sharp, A, C, D. The descending chromatic bass line, D, C sharp, C, C flat, D, A, D. So I'm going to play through the song for you. First the melody, and then I'll just play the chords a couple of times so that you can try out your own improvisation. Now, there's something in New Orleans that we have, it's called lagniappe. Lagniappe means something extra for nothing. Now, since this is a folk song about a person dying, New Orleans musicians usually add an excerpt of the funeral march at the end. And this is it. D, 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 F, E, E, D, D, C sharp, D. Now you would play that, since there are many verses of this song, and if someone is singing it, you can kind of put yourself into a trance and not realize, oh, this is the end. But if you play that funeral march on the last two measures, everyone knows this is the end. So again, that funeral march ending is D, 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 F, E, E with an A chord, D, D, C sharp. You can also play a little cadenza on the two chords preceding that funeral march. So the B flat, when the B flat comes only once, you can stop the time and play a little cadenza. And then when the A chord comes, put your C sharp pedal down and then when you're ready, play the funeral march on the D chord. Throw some ninth chords on the end. The ninth is the E, which you've been avoiding the whole time. You can put it in at the end. All right, so I'm going to play through the song slowly several times and practice the melody, and after the first time, practice improvising. And at the end, we'll throw on the funeral march for some lagniappe, New Orleans lagniappe. I hope you enjoyed this class. My name is Patrice Fisher, New Orleans Jazz Pop Harp Weekend virtual class. Here's a little introduction to give you the speed and feel of the tune. Play the descending bass line. G chord, cadenza on the B flat, cadenza on the A chord, funeral march on the D chord, Hope you enjoyed our class today on St. James Infirmary Blues. Don't forget you can go to www.neworleansjazzharp.com and download the music. My name's Patrice Fisher. Thanks for listening. This project is supported by a Decentralized Arts grant from the Louisiana Division of the Arts, Office of Cultural Development, Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism, in cooperation with the Louisiana State Arts Council. It is also supported by a community partnership grant from the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation and a grant from the American Harp Society. This project is sponsored by Chromatic Harps and produced by Carlos Valladares and Patrice Fisher for the New Orleans chapter of the American Harp Society. For more information, go to www.neworleansjazzharp.com.